But it has got a very interesting story behind it. Here he is now. This is Burgess, known to his friends Ian Brett, flying the Strikemaster. Long history behind how we got to this particular genre of aircraft, because it comes initially out of the Jet Provost family of development, and that was a well-known training aircraft that literally was employed in training thousands and thousands of pilots from the mid-50s onwards, and was a hugely successful development. And it replaced the old piston engine aircraft, and really when the success was founded by the Royal Air Force and they approved the early versions, the first 40 orders for a Mark III version of the JP really took off, and it just got better and better. But the improvement was made in the early 60s when the aircraft fitted with an improved Viper engine and then pressurized as well, leading to a Mark V version of the JP, led it to being employed in a combat role in the export world, with sales to Ceylon, Kuwait, or Sri Lanka as it is now, of course, Kuwait and Sudan, armed with two 7.7mm 303-inch machine guns. And the history of both the aircraft, this and the other that are owned across by Mark Petrie and Harden, both emanate from the Middle East. And it was the final more heavily armed and export versions that led to the christening of what became known as the BAC Strikemaster. Mark operates two different types of aircraft across the river there, both the Mark 82A, the Sultan of Oman's Air Force aircraft, and also the Mark 80A, the Royal Saudi Air Force aircraft. An outfit across in Harden there, known as the North Wales Military Aviation Services Limited. He imported the aircraft himself from the Middle East back around 2004, and employs a lot of local professionals over there, maintaining a broad range of aircraft, ex-military fast jets, deep maintenance of vintage aircraft from the Royal Navy in particular, and therefore has pretty local roots to this area as well. So effectively what we have in the Strikemaster is a combat derivative of the Mark V JP, and successfully flown in combat, particularly in the Oman-Yemeni wars. A tough aircraft. It's got an armoured cockpit, single, robust, but I think you'll agree, noisy given its low power rating Viper engine and manual flying controls. That makes it a little heavy in some manoeuvring envelopes, but nonetheless perhaps sensible if you're going to fly in combat not to have too many vulnerable hydraulic systems on them. Also, with considerable concern from the environment, Mark operates all his aircraft on SAF, a sustainable version of jet aviation fuel. And the sequence fairly dynamic, showing off the lines of the aircraft with some high energy, but again graceful manoeuvres. I think you'll agree a fairly wide speed range as well, despite the noise perhaps indicating they should be flying even faster. That is a delightful aircraft, as I say, successfully training literally thousands and thousands of pilots over the years. Slow down to around about 100 knots with fast passes at 400, that's around 460 miles an hour. And some of the terms up to around 5.5 G. In the hands of Ian Brett today. He also honed his skills post-university, serving in the Air Force for around 13 years, flying the Tornado GR4, involved in various operational deployments and multinational exercises. An ideal man for demonstrating this aircraft. Became a qualified flying instructor and flew the tutor, which you're going to see a little bit later on during the show today, and ended up as manager of that display team a decade or so ago. Was also a flying super and a flying safety officer as well. Flown with a few other teams during his time, now working in civilian life, and also was part of team racing for a while. I think they're a little bit faster on us than I was hoping for his last flyby, but he's just calling up there. That was it. He's now going to make his return.